Welcome back. This is Exopolitics Radio. I'm your host, Alfred Weber. Exopolitics Radio is a public affairs radio program on exopolitics, the new political science of outer space, the science of relations among intelligent civilizations in the multiverse. Exopolitics Radio audio archives are free and open as a service to the public 24/7 at exopoliticsradio.org. Exopolitics Radio is a listener-sponsored radio station, and we welcome your voluntary listener contributions at exopoliticsradio.org. And today we have a very special 2-hour program with an extraordinary being and guest, Ms. Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, who in the first hour as a whistleblower on a secret Mars colony will expose aspects of the technologies and the manipulation and personalities around her attempted recruitment into being part of a secret Mars colony. And in the second hour, in an in-depth interview, we'll explore the divine feminine. Thank you very much for listening to this very, very unusual and extraordinary opening to a new dimension and a new gateway to human reality. Thank you. And today we have a special program, a special 2-hour program with a very special guest, and an extraordinary breakthrough story for our times, I do believe. And we're with Ms. Laura Magdalene Eisenhower. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's really good to have you as a guest on Exopolitics Radio, and I know that you have written an extensive statement about the subject matter of our program, and our listeners can go either to your Facebook page, or they can go to your website. Could you give your website?
Yes, it's Cosmic Gaia, CosmicGaia 2012.com.
And we'll also have an introduction to that statement at www.exopolitics.com. And as well, there's a corroboratory statement by your colleague, Kylia Light, which corroborates everything that you are sharing in the paper and that you will be sharing today in the radio program. And that statement is also an introduction to it at exopolitics.com, which then links to Kylia Light's website. And as well, there's a major article at examiner.com that will be published about all of this as an initial launch of the revelations that Laura, as a whistleblower of a secret Mars colony project that we'll be talking about in this first hour, is making today. So, Laura, you're a relative of former President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and I wondered if you could share with our audience exactly what your relationship with him is and how that figured in the formation of your consciousness and in your mission.
Okay, yes. Well, President Eisenhower was my great-grandfather, and I never knew him, but I did have a very strong connection with him. Spent a lot of time with my family, was able to meet Mamie when she lived at the farm the last few years of her life, which I remember very well. And was just spent a lot of time on the farm, and my mom and my aunts and uncles just really just emanate the spirit of his life and do a lot of work that I was always exposed to. So very much a part of my upbringing. And at a young age, I really felt an amazing connection to him. We're both Libras, and I could really tune into his mission, and I just felt just an unbelievable ability to just have access to his presence in my life. And that was one of the few out of anything on a spirit contact level besides higher beings that like Christ and source energy that I could really contact for guidance as I was awakening to a massive calling in my life that I struggled with. And so it's like I could really see where the planet was at, and I was really tapping into frequencies and parasitic energies of the alien nature that were really affecting our ability to create this shift in the most harmless way to humanity and the environment. And I could recognize that there was a number of different tracks that one could go down. Ones that are really not immediate to one's senses. It's very hard to really spot them. And what I really learned growing up was about, just the war and Hitler, how defeating these powerful energies was really something in a very ancient way, connected to archetypes, connected to a whole sort of long agenda to destroy, an organic path that nature itself is wishing to create as divine will, and just really something deep within us that we're all meant to be co-creating together. And so I really started to understand about negative technologies and mind control, and I could sort of tell when I was in a room with people something that felt more like a CD player or people being programmed to act in a certain way compared to a feeling of something that was real and a lot more connected to a force and an energy that has been buried and forgotten, which I felt I carried in my being. So growing up, I felt very suffocated and very confused and very it's something I can barely put into words, and that's why a lot of this is better to read, in detail form. But so as I was becoming more and more aware of it and my path was unfolding, it became clear that I was going to be facing the people and the agendas that were behind this, what I call false matrix, and a programming to really have control over the human race and put us in a sort of amnesia about really who we are and what we're made of. And so I was kind of born really merged with what that means and what that is on a divine blueprint level. I call it sacred union, the merging in the marriage of polarities within the self. And I could just see, energetically that there was a huge block that were just absolutely keeping these things poles apart, so that duality in religion was just kind of guiding people to feel separate and feel fearful, and I just wouldn't have it. It just really made me angry. And my father was even a Catholic priest, so I was exposed to the church. After him and my mom broke up, he became a priest, and he's a very educated man, speaks 7 languages, born in Egypt, and it was kind of his upbringing to be Catholic. But as him and I got to know each other, he really did see a lot of stuff that I was seeing, and is really a force of change in that institution. But there's just a lot happening at a young age as far as being a part of the Eisenhower family and having Catholicism, and then really being aware of something that was hidden to a lot of people that I knew that I was here to uncover and awaken, while I was also uncovering and exposing these technologies and these agendas that have been really messing with my path and the whole human race as far as I'm concerned. So I really felt like a unified field, that I was really doing this on behalf of all of us, that, you know, some are aware and some aren't, but, you know, it was a very heavy duty mission that I felt, starting probably at the age of 8. So in order to access, like what I was going to do about it, I had to really just look at nature and understand that what I was going to go through was very much like the cycles of nature, which is to go into the earth and go into the depths, plant seeds and grow like a tree, and just, you know, death, regeneration, and all these different things that we see in nature was something I was embarking on, kind of carrying this Venus force energy that I later discovered was as heavy duty as in the Mayan calendar creating transits.